Hey Deagan, we're going to go and break down your 50-50 front freeze and see what we can do to get these to the next level. Because we're super close, good style, good control. I noticed that you're implementing the front foot first landing, what's really nice for increasing the range of motion for the front freeze out. That's like one of the things that lets you go and build and generate rotation. So let's go and break down what you can be changing here to go and get a bit of a better front free out, even though these are really close. So first, let's go and look at the takeoff. Just make sure everything's going right here. So you're coming in, nice approach to the rail, good amount of angle, catching yourself with your nose down and then shifting your tail. That's really good because it sets you onto your front foot, but lets you go and stay closed and then wind off your back foot, giving you a little bit more range of motion to generate what can be really a hard part of a front freeze. So it's sick that you're doing that. The one thing that I've been noticing on the rails is you're letting your board rotate a little bit before coming off the feature. This is happening for only one reason, and that is you're going and letting your upper body open up a little bit sooner. The hard part of the front free is like going and continuing the rotation. That's why I actually have a lot of trouble doing 50-50 front frees on longer rails. So this isn't too much of an issue, but if it becomes a more like gnarly kink, then this little bit of rotation would make it harder to do the trick. So we're just going to talk about how we can fix that really quick. And basically, it's just staying a little more closed off. See here how your back arm is going and reaching around open here, so it's sort of like open pointed this way. Not a big deal if it was a short rail because you're using it to generate rotation, but because it's a longer rail, it's making it so your chest is slightly open, causing you to go and get that little bit of rotation through the hips. And you can really see it right here where you're sliding for a significant portion of a rail with your hips sort of open like this. So it's only natural that your board will start to follow that along slowly. So if you want to go and get a bit of a straighter board gliding around the rail, then you just need to go and make sure you're a little bit more closed off. Because other than that, this like extension, timing, leaving off a rail, takeoff spot, that's all looking really good. And then the next thing I noticed is you're going and hitting a lot of impact, and then you're slipping out to your heels. And this is happening pretty consistently. It does look like it's a pretty impactful landing, but there's definitely some stuff here we can do to go and make it so you ride away a bit more clean. First, let's lock your eye position. So you're coming, rotating around, coming around. One of these things, I'm wondering right here if your head position is being like a little bit forced back down over this way too much. Instead, you might want to have it a bit more over here. Let me just go explain that really quick. So right now, you're taking off, your head's down towards the ground right here, but since you're boosting so high, your spot ends up being really high uphill off the takeoff, and then you're readjusting it. So see here how your spot's coming down, and it's sort of angled like down over here, but then you're traveling, so you're keeping your spot down, but you're traveling past the point you're spotting at. So that's making it so you're spotting doop, 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 down here now, but your original spot was down over here. This would be something you need to go and tell me if this is applying to you, but my guess would be that you're going and not seeing the spot too long. Like you're a little bit surprised at when the landing's hitting you because you're not spotting the point of impact. So what I would do to make this a little bit smoother, again, it's hard because you need to like generate that rotation on the front free, but I'd just try to keep your spot a little bit more forward to start. Because if your spot's a bit more forward to start, then you'll go and have a better point to like drift by, and then your eyes will more naturally end up on that point. So you're going and forcing your eyes on that point like right here. That's good. I just would want your eyes to be locked onto that point a little bit sooner, and I think that might give you a little more control and help you impact a bit more. But your main issue here is just that you're looking up too soon. So you can see you're spotting, and then as soon as you're about to land, your eyes are now shifted towards me at the point of impact. And this is the point where you really would need your spot, boom, back here at the back of your foot, because that's where you need your weight set. Because when your spot's forward like this, that's just going to make you go and come out. So see how you're holding the blind landing, you look up as you're hitting the impact, and that's making it so you're hunched over a lot. And this is where so much of the impact's coming from, because now you're spotting like this, what will hinge you at your waist, what we can see here, rounds the back, and it makes it so you don't have that strong form. And that's one of the reasons why this impacts so much, because now your compression is just completely going and crunching your hips there. And that's only happening because you're going and shifting your spot from the stacked position down here. This is stacked, this is good, you'd want to be holding that for the landing. And then as soon as your feet make contact, you're already looking up, looking forward, and that's causing that hinge in the hips. And as soon as your hips hinge, that's going to make it so the impact throws you down, head down. And that's where all that, sorry, I almost sneezed, extra impact is coming from. Let's go and check out another one of these videos and see if the same things are true. So you're coming in, nice pop, leaving off the tail. That's super good. And then nose first, not as pronounced here, so let's see. And also here I'm noticing that your chest is really open towards the rail. See how your hand is basically like all the way pointed at the rail? So I'm going to guess that from here, your board's going to rotate a little bit more than last time. So you're coming, doop. And yeah, your board's on that little bit of an angle that you held for a full thing. Extension and everything is really good here. Spot. Your spot is good, down on the ground. Around here. Let's see how that tracks. Spotting. Yeah, eyes are still holding it. And then, yeah. This is the issue of fist landing here, is see how your eyes are now pointed back up at the rail. That's just a little bit too pronounced for this kind of impact. You really want your eyes to be more aimed like down towards your back foot, this area here. So this was actually a really good job of like tracking the spot the whole time where you spotted, but also a prime example of you just spotting a little bit too high up, making it so you need to go and keep your spot around too much. This is also coming because you need to use quite a bit of counter rotation on this one. And the reason why you're using more counter rotation on this one is just because you did less of the nose first, making it so you have to rely more on keeping your upper body opened. So that way you don't have as much power because you're not going to have as big of a range of motion, resulting in needing to use more counter rotation. Because this spot looks good, holding the spot here, but then you shift your spot sort of like more uphill when you counter rotate there. So the two things I'd fix here is just making sure you use a little bit of a nose, keep your body a little bit more closed off to the rail so you have a more range of motion to play with, and then going and keeping your spot down even if you use the counter rotation. Because when you spot like this, you just can't see the impact and it's going to go and make it so you go and look around. And that's what's causing you to slide your heels again here. Just not landing in that stacked position with your spot down at the ground around your back foot. So that's another spot. We have one more to go through here, and we'll just see if the same things ring true. So you're coming up, nose first. Again, very subtle, might need to have that more pronounced. This one though, like you sort of go and force yourself to close off. Nice. So that would actually, that little bit of close off there really helped you get more snap, and that was the most smooth rotation I've seen you get. So see right here how you land, and then your back arm for just a second comes and pulls back around you. This is giving you more range of motion to play with, making it so you don't go and like pre-spin as much. You still end up pre-spinning a decent bit, but that's just because you're snapping a little bit too soon. So what I do here is a little bit more nose, landing a little bit more squared, and then wait to start doing this motion into here. Because see, right at this section here, you go and hold the same form for a few frames. This means that this whole initial windup wasn't being utilized. So two things you could do. You could either delay your snap motion, or you could just slow it down. Slowing it down so you don't have that second of pause, and that's going to let your board stay a lot more straight. Your spot back here at the top of a rail, holding it. And yeah, that looks better. Spot looks better here. You just go and compress and look up right away. So I do think the reason why this impact's hitting you so much is just because your spot is set too much back up at the rail. It's not too in line. So like your spot is basically set right over here where you're landing over here. So it'd be better to have your spot somewhere in the middle, like aimed here. So then when you land, your eyes will be locked on that point instead of being trying to lock all the way over here. Because that's just not going to give you too much reference of where you are in the air. And when you combine that with a hard impact, that's going to really cause you to buckle. So by shifting, I'll explain this one more time just in case I didn't explain it well. Basically, I'm saying off the takeoff here, you don't want your spot to be rotating over your constant spot over here. Instead, you want to be rotating your constant spot over here and letting yourself drift over that point, treating it more like a knuckle of a jump. Right now, I'd give the equivalent to you spotting the takeoff of a jump. So then when you go past it, you're looking too tall, too extended, you don't really know where the landing is. So we need to go and paint an imaginary knuckle that you're going to use as your spotting point. Easier said than done, but that's going to make the impact a lot cleaner. And other than that, you just need to go and hold the blind landing a bit longer because it's really bucking you and throwing you out, and that's where you're washing your heels. But it's looking really good. These are some minor changes, and I'd say that you do have a good grounding on this trick. That's a great rail to be practicing on the flat to the kink. Just go and delay the process a little bit, get a fluider motion, change your spot, and that's going to clean it up. But we're looking really good, lots of power, and the best thing is consistency. So make these slight changes, and I think it's going to really help. And let me know if you have any more questions, if you're having trouble with a spot, if that resonated with you, because that'd be my best guess is you don't really know when you're about to hit impact, and it's sort of throwing you off. So let me know what you think, and if you need more help, submit another video to Video Analysis.